So we always have the opportunity to connect in a deeper way with our breath, just by allowing ourselves to witness that. And as you're experiencing the ebb and flow of breath, relax your shoulders and release your belly. And relax your jaw and your eyes. And when you are ready, allowing the chin to drop towards your collarbone. Just feel the heaviness of your skull. And take a nice big breath, taking the head up and back. Drawing the heart and sternum forward as you micro-bend your elbows. And then again, tuck your chin, but round your spine this time, so shoulders forward. And the counter pose, head rises up and back, and the elbows move back, and you can draw the sternum forward. And do that 2 more times. Exhale, rounding your spine, heavy skull. Inhale, up and back. And again, chin down, rounding your spine. And head up and back. And this time, keeping the uprightness of the spine, drop your head towards your collarbone. Roll your head to your left shoulder, releasing the left arm to the side fully. And again, come back to exhaling through the mouth. So feeling the heaviness as you drift towards your left shoulder. Notice the stretch along the right side of your neck. And then chin down and head back to center. Reach with your right arm to the sky. Let's walk the left hand out and start to carry the right arm over, extending that right side body, and maybe elevating your gaze, maybe. And invite the expansiveness of your right lung. And really stretch the right side body. Looking towards the left side, start to make your way to a forward fold. Use your palms and sway from side to side. So feel your shoulder blades moving and feel your spine move. Massaging the back of your lungs. And then rolling back to center, take both arms up to the sky. Bringing the elbows down the sides, releasing your right palm to the earth, and rolling your head to the right shoulder. Again, exhale through your mouth. And as the chin rolls back to center, you can reach to the sky with your left hand. And we'll carry that over to the right side. And again, maybe elevate your gaze, letting your palm face the midline of the body. So rotate your palm inward. Yeah. And feel that openness on the left side and the left lung. forward folding. And once again, just sway from side to side. Sort of leaning from one knee to the other. But turning your gaze to move your neck and your head. Maybe deepening that connection with expanding the nostrils. And then rolling back to center, reaching up. Interlace your fingers behind your head and open your elbows. Exhale, round your spine, taking your elbows towards the earth. Inhale up and open. And we'll do that one more time. Exhale, rounding towards the earth. This time as you rise, taking the interlaced fingers up and pressing your palms towards the sky. So your hands are inside out. And try and elevate from your shoulders. Keeping your fingers pointing towards each other, press your palms out to the side so you can stretch the forearm. And then join your palms. Open like a book. Turn your hands inside out and reach up. Exhale, palms out and down. Very nice. Palms together. Opening like a book, inside out, reaching up. And this time as you exhale your palms out, take your hands behind your back. See if you can clasp your elbows or your forearms. And give yourself a nice tight squeeze. And notice that wonderful stretch, again, across the pectoral muscles and the collarbone. Start to feel more generous rising of your lungs. Feel the lift of your shoulders as you breathe. And then release your hands, and all we're going to do is just bring our feet to the earth, so adjust as needed. And once you bring your feet to the earth, give yourself a nice hug here. Noticing the curvature of the spine, release your head towards your knees. And start to invite breath down to the bottom of your belly so that you can feel your low back also expanding. And as you notice the kidneys and the low back expanding and the belly expanding, notice the right side and left side rib cage moving away from each other. So broadening that space in the very center of your back. And continue to press your feet into the earth, and this might take some effort. Press your feet, squeeze your knees, and reach your hands up overhead. And elongate your spine, so really lift from the bottom of your rib cage up. Again, press your feet, squeeze your knees, breathing deeply. Good, one more breath. And then release the hands. And let's see if we can come off of our block. If you have a bolster or you're using a blanket today, whatever you're using for your prop, let's place that underneath the knees. And make sure that you're in a space on your mat to where eventually when we come down to our back, you're on your mat still. See if you can move a little bit from side to side, starting to draw the bottom of your pelvis back and the top forward. So we want our sits bones, right, to move backward. And then settle your belly and begin to forward fold. This is passive. So we notice the curvature of the spine again. It's a wonderful time to maybe exhale through the mouth. Reaching the arms forward, rise back to the sky with the arms. As you carry your elbows down the sides, sweep your hands forward and up again. And then exhale, twisting to the right side of your body. Make sure you're not using your thumb. Try and place your full right palm. Just breathing there. And then carefully twist yourself to the left side again. Try and root your left palm. Keep the uprightness of the spine and breathe deeply into your lungs. And then making your way back to center, we're going to roll to our back, but just make sure that you have your block nearby. And we're just going to place that underneath the base of the skull once you arrive fully on your back. So I want you to feel the edge of your head resting on this block. The back of your knees are fully supported by your prop. Take your arms out to the sides, letting the palms rest up and open. And then just move your head left and right. And please do try to exhale through your mouth. So every time your head shifts from side to side, just a little less effort in your shoulders. Relax your tongue and your jaw. Releasing all expression from your forehead and from your cheekbones. And eventually your head will come back to center. Step your feet to the top of your bolster or blanket, whatever you have today, and move your knees from side to side. So as you're rocking from side to side, notice the small of your back. Try and stay rooted to the earth, exploring the outer edges of your hips. Still exhaling through the mouth. And the next time that your knees drift to the right side, just pause there for a moment, but allow your head to tip to the left. Again, exhaling through the mouth, sinking heavily into the hips and sinking heavily into the skull. And then taking your time, allowing the knees to rock to the left side and allowing your head to turn to the right. inviting everything back to center. See if you can set your block off to the side for a moment and pull your right knee in towards your belly. Once you pull your right knee in towards your belly, try and root along your spine. You might interlace your fingers on your knee or underneath your knee. Compressing in the right hip, relax your belly, releasing your abdomen fully. And then releasing your hands and stretching your leg to the sky. Let's see if we can interlace the fingers behind the knee and work on pointing and flexing the foot. And try and spread your toes as well. And notice the big toe side of your foot. And work on rotating the ankle in circles. And see if you can rotate a few times in the opposite direction. Coming back to pointing and flexing. And then drawing the knee back in towards your belly. Keep your hands behind your knee. Extend your left leg straight out over your prop. And then stretch your foot back to the sky, but keep your knee towards your belly. Bending the knee. This time, straighten your arms and push your leg into your arms. Stretch your leg to the sky. And then exhale, bend your knee, pull your knee towards your belly. And we'll do that 2 more times. Leg is straightening, arms are straightening. Exhale, bending the elbows and the knee. And one more time, reaching everything out. And exhale, bending the knee. Using just your right hand, start to move your right knee around in circles. Increasing the size, maybe moving the knee freely around in circles. So you can leave both of your arms to the side, maybe straightening the leg and bending the knee. And then try the opposite direction, around in really big circles. Really working from the hip joint. And the next time the knee comes back in, just release your leg over the bolster. Let's take a full body stretch, arms and legs reaching. And then stepping both feet back to the top of your prop, pulling your left knee in, interlace your fingers either underneath or on top. Again, relax your belly, softening the crease of your left hip. And then stretching your left leg to the sky, interlacing your fingers behind your knee. Work on just pointing and flexing. Again, notice your big toe. See if you can spread all of your toes, keeping your ankle and your toes in line with each other. And then rotating around in one direction. And trying the opposite direction. And back to just pointing and flexing. Hugging the knee in towards the belly, giving that a nice squeeze. And this time extending your arms and extending your legs straight. Exhale, bending the knee, pulling the knee towards your belly. See if you can keep your foot to the sky as you do that. And straighten the arms and straighten the leg. One more time, bend the knee, foot facing the sky. And straighten the arms and straighten the leg. Releasing your left leg down as you bend your, right leg down as you bend your left knee. Move your left knee around in circles. And again, increasing the size of that circle. Maybe just moving the knee by itself without using the hand. And the opposite direction. And as that knee comes back to center, release it. Take a full body stretch, everything out. Notice the curvature of your spine. And as you exhale, press your low back into the earth. Press your shoulder blades into the earth. Again, inhale, elevate your rib cage. Exhale, pressing into the earth. One more time, stretching, reaching. And exhale, compressing. Step your feet to your prop. Place your hands to the sides. Make sure your feet are fully rooted on your prop. And then when you are ready, elevate your hips. Keep your gaze upward. If you can rock your shoulder blades in slightly, walk your shoulder blades in. Again, keep your chin upward. Keep your gaze upward. As you press all four corners of your feet into your prop, maybe elevate a little bit more. And see if you can slow but deepen your breath. And then lowering back to the earth, root your low back all the way. Keep your feet on your prop. Soften along your spine. And then we're going to find that block again. And you get to decide today. Maybe you're on the lowest level of your block. Maybe you're on the second level of your block. You decide. Whichever you choose, make sure that your sacrum is supported. So we want the base of your pelvis fully supported. This is not in your low back. It's slightly forward towards your heels. And then once you arrive, just micro movements from side to side. Again, whichever level of the block you prefer, micro movements from side to side. So just noticing any sensation in the sacroiliac area, right? Your lower back, the base or the flat portion of your pelvis. And then finding the center of that, see if you can take your feet a little bit wider, but then drop your knees inward. And readjust your shoulders if needed. I'm just going to pause here for a few moments. Coming back to noticing your lungs rise and fall. Notice how the collarbone and sternum rises towards your chin as you breathe. You're more than welcome to stay exactly as you are. Otherwise, see if you can elevate one or both of your knees, lifting your heels off your bolster. Just balancing on your block. This might be where you remain, or you might decide to extend one or both of your legs to the sky. If you're extending both of your legs to the sky, please separate your heels hip-width distance. And find some stillness. And don't forget breathing, that vital life force breathing you. If you have chosen to elevate only one knee or extend only one leg, please alternate to the other side. And then either one or both. Bending your knees, coming back to your prop. Once you arrive, if your knees are together, you can separate them now. We're just rocking the knees from side to side again. And then once your knees come back to center, press your feet into your bolster, remove your block. Come all the way down to a really flat low back. Take your arms out to the sides. And then one by one, releasing your legs out over your bolster. Take a moment to just breathe here. And then inviting a full body stretch, arms and legs reaching. Maybe rotating your ankles again. And this time as you step your feet back to your bolster, let's cross our left ankle over the right knee. Taking the arms straight out from the shoulders, tipping yourself from side to side. Maybe allowing your knee to touch as you drift to the left and your foot to touch the ground as you drift to the right. Try and keep your left knee open, opening the left hip. Try and stay movement across that low back and sacrum again. And again, rolling all the way to the outer edges of the glutes if possible. All the way to the sides of your hips if possible. And then making your way slowly back to center. Once you come back to center, you can stay there. If appropriate, interlace your fingers behind your right knee. So you're threading through And then decide, once you've interlaced your fingers, maybe you want to hold your shin bone, interlacing your fingers on top of the right shin. Try and exhale through your mouth, allowing the back body to sink towards the earth. Releasing that expression from your face. A very conscious release of the muscles that surround your left hip and your left leg. And even the shoulders in this moment can be heavy. And the center of your throat in this moment can be heavy. If you have decided to hold behind your knee or on top of your shin, please release. Cross your left knee fully over the right, and then pull both of knees back towards your belly. You might just clasp your left shin bone and knee. Some of you might decide to use your left hand to reach for your right shin bone as you hold on with your right hand to your left shin bone. That's up to you. So either one or both. And again, don't invite any unnecessary tension. Doing your best to release and relax, to soften right here in this pose. Exhaling through the mouth is always helpful. Just that internal sigh of release. And then as you release your hands, take your arms out. Let's take the feet wide. All right, so if you need to hold behind your knees to support today, that's okay. Otherwise, let your arms rest to the sides. Take your feet wide. And if you can, toes in towards your shin bones as you extend and flatten your knees, lengthening the inner lining of your legs. And then very carefully bringing the legs back in, cross the right knee over the left, step your feet to your bolster. Exhale through your mouth. Opening the right hip up by taking the right ankle just to the knee and shifting from side to side. So again, maybe lightly touching your toes and lightly touching the knee on the other side. You could move your head from side to side as you rock left and right. You could pause along the way. That feels good to pause for a bit. And eventually making your way back to center, and we'll work for either pausing there or interlacing behind your left hamstring or on top of your left shin bone. and soften while you're there. If you are clasping your left leg in some way, please release. Take time to cross the right knee over the left. Carefully elevate your knees and either clasping your shin bone, one or both. And then release your legs, unwinding. Take your legs over your bolster. Take a full body stretch. Again, move your ankles and move your toes. And try and shift the right side and the left side of the body. Making a decision to either roll up or roll to the side. Whichever you choose, we're going to send that bolster off to the side. And let's make our way to hands and knees. So moving any props that might be on your mat. And once you position your wrist underneath your shoulders and your knees in line with your hips, round your spine. And sink your belly, gazing forward. Again, exhale, round your spine. And inhale, belly forward. Try 2 more times. Exhale, round your spine. Inhale, forward. Again, rounding the spine. And inhale, forward. Resting back to child's pose, balasana. Get support on your forearms if comfortable. Make your way all the way to your forehead. And return to the exhalations through the mouth, sinking heavily into the shins and into the hips. And slowly coming back to your palms, reach your arms in as much extension as you can. And then rising up, start to make your way forward to upward facing dog or tabletop. And we're just going to flow forward and back. So moving back towards your heels, balasana. And back to tabletop or all the way straightening your legs, upward facing dog. Use your breath. Breathing, inhale forward, exhale back. And the next time that you rise up, start to move around through all four corners. So we're in tabletop. And you can shift your weight to one palm, the other, one hip, and then the other. You might even move your head and your neck while you do that. Move your elbows and your shoulders. Maybe a few times in one direction and then the other. And then slowly make your way back to center. And as we come back to center, I want you to elevate your heels. Take your heels over to the right side and just gaze to the right. And then elevate your heels and take them to the left side as you gaze to the left. And this time coming back to center, step forward with your right foot. Place your right hand on top of your knee and start to move forward and back. Try and keep your foot fully planted and work to straighten your leg if possible. And maybe taking the knee beyond the ankle as you lunge. Using your right hand to support the movement, make sure your knee is moving in line with your ankle. And the next time that your right knee and ankle are in line with each other, see if you can press into the right knee and rise up, reaching with your left hand. Gazing to the right side and reaching over to the right. If you would like to use both hands, please interlace your fingers and stretch over to the right, gazing to the right. But it's also appropriate to hold your right knee with your right hand and just use one hand. Make sure you're breathing. And then bringing one or both hands back to center, we'll take the hands to the inside of the right foot. Pressing into your left palm, take your right hand to the sky, stacking your shoulders and gazing towards your right palm. Returning the right hand back to the knee, reaching to the sky with your left hand again. And you might just bring your elbow down. You might invite both of your arms to reach. Make sure you're stabilizing your right foot and both elbows down. We're just going to do that a few times. So either one or both. Inhale up. Exhale down. Nice big breath, reaching. And exhale down. Just once more. Breathing in. Exhaling. And then bringing your hands back to the inside of your right foot. Let's release that right leg. Taking child's pose, stretching back. We'll take a little half vinyasa, rolling along your spine to upward facing dog. Lower to the earth. Walk your hands forward until your elbows are in line with your shoulders. And then rock from side to side, moving the spine, moving the head. Carefully walk your hands back to the sides of your rib cage. Push yourself up and back for child's pose again. And then see if you can rise all the way to the tops of the knees, reaching with the arms. Exhale, elbows come down. Nice big inhale, reaching up. Exhale, elbows down. Good, one more time. Breathe and reach. And exhale, elbows down. Taking your palms back to the earth. Step forward with your left foot. Placing your left hand on your knee. And we'll casually move forward and back. And as you're leaning forward and back, see if you can deepen that stretch. Right, so again, knee maybe beyond your ankle. And and fully straightening your left leg. And the next time that left knee is in line with your ankle, please reach to the sky with your right hand. Deciding whether just the right hand is reaching over to the left or interlace your fingers and reach with both hands. And as your hands come back to center, one or both elbows down. This might just be the right arm. It might be both. One more time. And this time, as your elbow or elbows come down, place your right palm, gaze to the left side, and reach with your left hand, stacking your shoulders. And as your left hand comes back down, we're going to try and step forward to the front of the mat. So you can give yourself a little lunge. Tuck your right toes. See if you can step forward with your right foot. Clasping your elbows, hang heavy. If possible, tuck your elbows behind your head. And then press into your feet. And we're going to rise to standing. Arms reach from that space. Exhale, hinging in your hips, make your way to forward fold. Inhale, a halfway gaze. Exhale, forward fold. Bend your knees, step back with your left foot, drop your left knee down, step back with your right foot, and press back, child's pose. Let's take that half variation of our vinyasa. Child's pose. Rolling along your spine to upward facing dog. Exhale, bend your elbows lower to the earth. Walking the elbows forward as you press your palms. You can sway your spine from side to side. And with no rush, palms back to the sides of your ribcage. Push yourself up. Back to child's pose. When you're ready, rising to the tops of your knees. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, elbows down. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, elbows. One more time, nice big breath. And exhale, elbows. From here, we're going to make our way to seated. However you need to move your body, I like to just cross my ankles and have a seat behind them. If you need to move differently, that's okay. Once you come to seated, make sure that your legs are straight on your mat. We'll take a nice big inhale, reaching those hands up overhead. Let your palms face each other. And then as the hands come out and down, we're going to bend to the left knee and give the left knee a hug. And that might be wrapping your arms around and clasping your elbows, or just gently holding with your hands. Close your eyes and breathe your breath. See if you can slow everything down. So you might notice a slight elevation of your heart rate. Deepen and slow your breath and slow the heart rate down. And as your eyes return, use your right hand. Hug it around your left knee, twisting to your left side. Place your palm. Try not to use your thumb, right? So relax your thumb. And once you come back to center, see if you can step your left foot to the outside of your right leg. Rotate your torso towards the right side, maybe coming down to one or both of your forearms. Think about the left side of your rib cage moving towards the right side of your rib cage. So we notice that twist of your mid-back, your thoracic spine. And breathe deeper, really stretch your lungs. So you'll notice that the deeper you breathe, right, you can find that internal massage. And we're going to slowly bring this back to a lateral side body stretch. So just using your left hand, we're going to make a fist with the right hand. Point it towards your right toes. Once you do that, you're going to reach up to the sky with your left hand and carry your left arm in line with your left ear. So extending towards that right side. Just breathing there. And try and lift out of your left shoulder and right shoulder a little bit. And we'll use our left arm for a little momentum to bring us back to center. Releasing your left leg out. And we'll give the right knee a hug, and you can close your eyes once you arrive. And then giving yourself a hug with your left arm, rotating your spine to the right side. Rotating your spine to the right side. Mm-hmm. And then we'll twist to our left, taking the right foot to the outside of your left leg. Try and come down to one or both of your forearms here. And really think about right side rib cage moving towards the left side. So feel that right in the middle of your back. Making a fist with your left hand. Make sure it's pointing towards your toes. We'll reach to the sky with the right hand and then carry right arm in line with your ear reaching over to the left side. Try and elevate out of the left shoulder a little bit, as well as reaching and extending from the right. Using your right hand, help yourself back to center. All right. See if we can find that bolster again. Just pull it a little closer to you. We're going to come down to the back. We'll take a full body stretch first. We'll use the bolster in just a moment. Just make sure it's close by. Reaching with the arms, reaching with the legs. Notice the curvature of your low back. As you exhale, press down into the earth. Again, as you reach, increase, create curvature in your spine. Exhale, rooting into the earth. One more time, inhale, reach. And exhale, compress. All right, as we step our feet to the earth, you're going to turn your bolster sideways. Try and press your feet into the earth. Elevate your hips. We're going to elevate our hips onto the top of the bolster. Readjust your shoulders and your spine to make sure that your spine is in length. Walking the bottom of your feet together and letting your knees drift outward for reclined butterfly, Supta Baddha Konasana. And then releasing your hands to the sides with your palms facing up and open. Please exhale through your mouth. Feel the heaviness of the shoulders and of the skull and of the arms. And the supportiveness across the back of your hips and the heaviness of your knees. Softening the belly. And just allowing the natural state of your breath. And you might separate your toes and bring your knees back together. Take a moment to rock your knees from side to side. If you are choosing to remain in your butterfly pose, you're more than welcome to. Otherwise, explore stretching one leg out, noticing that side of the body stretching. If you would like to try stretching both, you can stretch both. You might decide to stretch one arm or both arms, that's up to you. If you're reaching your arms in line with your ears, please elevate your chin slightly. We're going to stay for just maybe another 10 breaths or so. So again, you're more than welcome to stay in butterfly. If you're working on stretching only one side of the body right now, I'll cue you to do the second in just a moment. Whatever you have chosen, start to deepen your breath. . If you are working with just one side of the body lengthening, you can try the other side. Starting to breathe a much deeper breath. If you are in butterfly pose still, please separate your toes and bring your knees back. If your legs are extended, one or both, please step your feet to the earth. Bringing the hands back to the sides, let's all rock the knees from side to side. Try and move your spine and move your hips. And without using your hands, elevate your heels, floating on your bolster again. Make sure your low back is fully supported. And then carefully release your feet back to the earth. Once you have your feet rested, please elevate your hips, move your bolster. Make your way to your back and take a final full body stretch. Everything out, everything reaching. Breathing deeply into the nostrils, reaching from the shoulder sockets, reaching from the hip sockets. And then drawing the knees in, rocking to whichever side of the body serves you. Pause for a moment in your practice. And then help yourself up when you are ready. And as you make your way to some kind of seated pose, and join your hands together before your heart. And just bowing to that internal space. Knowing the connectedness to this wonderful pranic energy, the breath that breathes you, and your divine essence. The connectedness to all beings and all things. I thank you for sharing your practice. Namaste.